Iowa saw just over 55,000 survivors of violent crime asking for help from 26 different agencies. We are now into 2023. The amount of domestic violence is not tapering off. So we have the Iowa Coalition Against Domestic Violence working to educate and support Iowa crime victims. Joining us now, Lindsey Pingel, Director of Community Engagement. A lot of heavy work you're doing right now. And unfortunately, the numbers are not improving from that crisis time we were in.
Right. Well, first, thank you so much for having me here. Yes, when we look at the number of individuals who are seeking services, whether it's for domestic violence, sexual assault, human trafficking, or other violent crime, if we go back to 2020 and even a few years before, the number has been very consistent. So you can look at that in two ways. One, our services are getting out and people are accessing them. However, we still have a lot of work to do because we're not seeing this huge drop off in the number of people who are requesting those services.
Do you see different common factors behind, people that come to you in need of help?
The thing with domestic violence that makes it complicated is every single survivor story is different.
Sure.
However, the biggest barrier to safety is access to affordable, safe, and stable housing.
And that's the financial abuse, essentially, that you can't afford your own place.
Right.
You're reliant, you're dependent on this person.
Absolutely. Almost every single survivor who interacts with our programs, and this has been ongoing for quite some time, identifies financial or economic abuse of some sort as a crime that has occurred within their unhealthy relationship.
Your messaging is so important for everybody to hear because I feel like it's a community problem that needs to be addressed, because you have the abuser, you have the person that's being abused, and then you have people that maybe just don't get it. And cycles of abuse, they stay just that oftentimes.
Absolutely. Domestic violence is ugly. No one wants to talk about it. It's easy if you haven't encountered it to kind of shy away from it, but it is a public health crisis that impacts anyone at any time. And when it impacts one person in our community, it impacts everyone. And so in order for us to actually start hopefully mitigating this and working towards ending it, we have to be open with having conversations. And that is, if we're seeing something, we're saying something.
Yes, right.
We are modeling healthy relationships, whether it's at home, in our schools, in other interpersonal relationships, because we know not every single maybe student is coming from a home that is safe into the schools. We know that not every adult has had a stable relationship in their life, but the more comfortable we get with talking about it and addressing it, the easier it's going to be to really start preventing it.
What's your message to people who are in an unsafe situation right now, afraid to ask for help, or maybe they're unsure, is this domestic violence? And I feel like if you're questioning, it likely is, because it doesn't feel right.
What I would say is advocates are available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. All of the services that our membership of 22 statewide programs provide are confidential and free of charge. If you're questioning anything, you need help, advocates are here. Our program is here to walk alongside you and help you identify what safety looks like for you.
And I love that you have ways for people to get involved too. You've got events, you've got fundraisers, so many ways that people can just support your work.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I would first go to our website, www.icadv.org, and connect with the program in your community. Look at volunteering opportunities. Look at events coming up. The holidays are around. A lot of programs will be doing holiday drives. They'll be gearing up for winter clothing drives. There's always financial contributions that you can make that will directly go back to helping survivors. But because victim services is often underfunded, understaffed, volunteers, if you want to get involved, reach out to the program, reach out to the coalition and say, I want to do something. We have something you can do to help us.
There's help.